We are going to talk about counting up to subtract, or finding the difference between two numbers. Now, with this strategy of finding the difference between two numbers, we're going to start with the smaller number. We're going to use this number line to help us. So at the front of the number line, I'm going to put the smaller number, 236. Now, we're going to try to count up to 528. Now, we're going to count up using easy numbers that are easy to work with. So, the first thing we're going to try to do is get 236 to an easy number we can work with. So, if I added 4 to 236, it now becomes 240. Okay, now that's easier to work with. Now, let's see how many hundreds I can add here. So, 240, if I add 100, I will get 340, another 100, 440. Now, if I added another 100, I would go above 528, so we don't want to do that. So let's see, we need to get closer to 528 now. If I added 60, I will get to 500, and then between 500 and 528, I know there's 28. All right, now all of these numbers together were able to get me to count up to 528. So if I add up all of these, I'll have my difference between 236 and 528. So let's see, I have 100 plus 100, which equals 200. 200 plus 60 equals 260. 260 plus 28, which is 288, and then I have my 4, which would give me 292. So the difference between 528 minus 236 is 292. Now we're going to use that same method to help us to solve this problem. 843 minus 621. We're going to count up to find the difference between those two numbers. So we'll start with our number line and we'll start with the smaller number. So 621, and we want to get up to 843. Okay, now remember, we want to use numbers that are really easy to work with. So instead of 621, I'm going to add 9 to that. I'm going to make it 630. Okay, now let's talk about our hundreds. We can add 100, and that'll give us 730. And if I add another 100, now I have 830. Okay, now if I add another 10, I'll have 840. And then if I add 3, I'll get to 843. Okay, so now we just need to count up all of these numbers. So let's start here. We have 100 plus 100, which is 200. 200 plus 10 is 210. 210 plus 3 is 213. And 213 plus 9 is 222. So the difference of 843 minus 621 is 222.